Hello, everybody. How you guys doing today? Welcome to Finance 101. Today's topic we're going to talk about get rich slowly, and that's one of the biggest topic we're going to talk about. What are some of the ways to do that? Also, we brought to you by one of your favorite financial educator, myself, Mr. Finance, and my goal today is to definitely bring you the information so that way you could be informed. Remember, the number to call is 973-873-5977. Once again, the number to call is 973-873-5977 for all your financial understanding and to book your free financial checkups. All right. So, with that said, welcome to another great segment where I will be talking about how to get rich slowly, because a lot of people want to get rich fast and they think it's investing right away and doing all these things that will get you there, and then later on they actually lose more than they actually thought they would have. So that's a major thing that we're going to talk more about today. So you see, a solid financial, right? A solid foundation, it takes time to build. And you got to understand that trees don't grow overnight, right? So to avoid get rich quick like impulses, hot stocks and rising real estate markets can sound appealing. The thing that you got to look at is this. But you got to look at one, and I mean one wrong pick can set you back big time from your saving goals. Just one decision, one bad choice, one bad investment, because a lot of people are making these choices don't understand, and they normally go by someone else's information to them, right? So that's one of the reasons why we encourage people to read the Saving Your Future book, right? And participate in our workshops so that way you can understand. Because investing is not gambling. You must understand how money works and have a plan and stay disciplined with your action plan until you reach your goal, right? You can't be jumping in and out. This is not double Dutch, right? You can't be double Dutching with your money. You gotta stay steady, right? The goal is to be steady heady. So one of the things that you gotta understand if you're gonna do get it to get rich slowly, I like to say, it's not a get rich quick scheme. It's a get rich definitely if you follow the plan. You must understand what is the rate of return, the magic of compound interest. Now, this formula was created by a guy named Albert Einstein, right? And this is one of the things he said. And one of the most important discoveries in finance is the rule of 72. It shows you how to calculate the effect of compound interest with a very simple formula. What you must do is this. Take 72 and divide it by the rate of return, which is the interest you're getting on your money. The answer is the number of years it takes for your money to double. So for example, say you get 4%. You take 72, and this is if you get 4% on your money, right? You take 72 divided by 4, that equals 18. 18 is the amount of years it will take for your money to double, right? How many of us have bank accounts, right? What is the interest rate on your bank? How much percent are you getting? Let's just say that your bank account gave you 1%. You take 72 divided by 1, that equals 72. My question to you is, do you have 72 years to wait? Because one of the things that I want you to know is that the rule of 72 unveils the powerful impact of compound interest on money. It also revealed two type of people, and you got to figure out which one are you. It reveals people who don't understand how money works and they end up working for money, or people who understand how money works and let money work for them. I always tell people the two quickest way to get rich in America and get wealthy is by understanding budget and compound interest. It ain't about the amount of money you make. It ain't even about how much you save. It's about the amount of interest you're getting on your money and not against it. Because most of us have high interest against our money And that's why you're not growing. See, wealthy people tend to spend time learning and understanding how money works. They look for advice and solutions to get better returns for their money. They're always searching for better returns. They want better interest on their money. So a lot of poor people lack knowledge and about personal finance. Some don't even care to understand. A lot of people don't even care. Many have no plan and save little, right? And even have little savings. You know, what savings they do have, they usually put in an account with a low rate of return. Their money doesn't work for them. Compound interest works both ways, you know. It can make you and it could break you. If you owe money, the compound interest on your debt can ruin you. As a result, many people keep paying the bills with high interest. Despite numerous payments, the balance of the bill barely goes down because high interest on the balance continue to compound. Sometimes it feels as if it's impossible to pay the balance off. You know how many people go through these struggles every day with their credit card? A lot of people struggle with this every day with their credit card. And the simple reason because they don't want to learn. So we got to understand what's the difference, right? There's something called simple interest versus compound interest. So let's take an example of Mr. A putting $10,000 in a saving vehicle with 8% simple interest. And then also Mr. B putting the same $10,000 in a saving vehicle with 8% compound interest annually, right? So there's one that is simple interest and there's one with compound interest annually, right? So let's start with Mr. A. Mr. A is the simple interest. He put away year one, $10,000 at 8%. 8% of 10,000 is 800. So simple interest only means that you're only going to get the percent of that money every year. So meaning, if you put away $10,000, right, in year one, you got 8%. Your total for that year is 10,800. Then for year two, the same thing. 8% is 800. Now you have 800 plus the 10,800, which give you 11,600. Year three, same thing again. 8% of 10,000 is 800, which now bring the total up to 12,400, right? So now let's look at the difference between compounding interest now. See, with compound interest is the same thing, right? But here's the difference. Now, let's see. Year one, you're going to $10,000. You get 8%. 8% of 10,000 is 800. So what you do now, you take that 800 plus the 10,000 that you invest in, and that gives you 10,800, right? Now year two come around. You're now getting 8% on 10,800, right? I hope you're seeing the difference here now. You're not getting the 8% on 10,000 now. You're getting 8% on 10,800, which will now give you 864. Now you take 864 plus the 10,800, and that equals $11,664. Now year three, the 8% compound is on the 11,664 versus the 10,000 it would have been and the simple interest, right? So with compound interest, the saving vehicle of Mr. B gives him 8% on combined principal plus interest for the year's calculation. When you see the difference between simple and compound interest, you will now understand how powerful it can be. And that's one of the biggest things that we got to get to. We must get to the point where we can understand how to get the difference of compound interest and simple interest, right? Because we need to understand that. So let's talk about the real rate of return, right? See, when you save or invest, it's important to have a good rate of return. But what the real rate of return, right? What's the real rate of return? In other words, what do you really get? What is your money really worth? So I'm going to share with you two examples, right? So I hope you want to follow me. Example one, if you save $100 and you're getting 3% interest on this $100, that's $3, right? Then you're going to pay taxes of 25%, which is negative 75 cents that's going to be taken off, right? Now, let's combine the fee and state. So after taxes, after 75 cents is taken off, you now have a after taxes of $102.25, right? Then you got to add in inflation at 3.5%, which is another $3.50 taken off. And your actual return is $98.75. So right there, you might be saving, you might be investing, but you must calculate what is the interest you're getting on your money. Plus, you got to calculate the cost of living, which is inflation. How much is your 100 really worth years after this? So let's look at the other example. Same thing. You're saving $100 at 5% interest. You pay the tax of 25%, which is $1.25. Your net after tax is now $103.75. Inflation is at $3.50, which is $3.50, which actually return you $100.25, right? After the cost of living and inflation. So you must get about 5% or more in interest to beat taxes and inflation. So if you ever wonder why you're living paycheck to paycheck and why you just can't beat the system, is because you're not getting enough interest on your money to keep up with inflation and also how to beat taxes, right? So let's talk about a little bit about what is inflation, right? We like to call it the silent killer, right? That's what inflation is, the silent killer. Now, inflation is the rise of prices of goods and services over time. When people increase, your purchasing power decrease, right? So let me repeat that again. When prices increase, your purchasing power decrease. So let me give you an example. If the inflation rate is 3.5, your $100 today is only worth $96.50 next year, right? Because you got to add in inflation. That's the thing that people don't know about. I like to call it the hidden tax system in a way, right? Since they can't tax you a lot, they raise the prices on things. So inflation happens when a country prints more money than it earns. You know, a lot of people got really excited when they saw the new $100 bills got printed. You know, the result is everybody will lose some value on their money. Some refer to inflation as a hidden tax. How many of you guys know about inflation? Inflation is a major factor to consider when you build your financial future. For instance, if you put your money in an account with a 0 rate of return, its value will currently decline in the long run. In the last 100 years, from 1914 to 2014, the U.S. inflation rate averaged 3.32, right? Percent. So let's take a look at the prices of some of these basic items over time. I want to show you the average cost of living, right? For a new home in the 70s, it's 23,450. How many people wish that you could buy a home in the 70s, right? How about the 90s? $123,000. And 2013, $289,000, $500, right? Imagine, look at the drastic cost of living went up from the 70s to 2013. Now let's talk about a new car. A new car in the 70s is 3,400. How many of you guys want to buy a new car right now, right? How about the 90s? A new car was only $16,950. I remember those days. In 2013, it went up to $31,352. How about a loaf of bread? In the 70s, it was 25 cents. In the 90s, 70 cents. 2013, $1.98. Let's talk about the wages, right? The earnings. Earnings in the 70s was 9,400. In the 90s, it was $28,960. And 2013, it is $44,321. Do you notice that everything went up except wages? Did you notice that everything pretty much tripled or doubled except wages? And then you wonder why we live paycheck to paycheck? It's because the cost of living for everything that we need gone up except for what they pay us. So what will your $100 do for you in the next 20 years? Assuming that inflation is 3% today. Well, today's $100. Let's talk about years from now. 5 years from now, purchasing power decrease to $86. Increased inflation amount to equal 100 will be $116. Right? So you'd have to be $116 for it to equal $100. How about 10 years from now? 10 years from now, your purchasing power decreased to $74. An increase in the inflation amount to equal 100 is $134. How about 15 years from now? Your purchasing power decreased to $64. And for it to equal 100, it'll be $156. 20 years from now, your $100 will only worth $55 in purchasing powers. And for it to be equal to 100, it'll be $181. So, say you plan to retire with $4,000 income monthly in today's value. 20 years later, at a 3% inflation rate, you would need to have $7,224 per month to maintain the same purchasing power. My question to you is, are you prepared for it? Do you think you should save more and spend less? Right? That's the question of the day. I want you guys to take this very seriously. And I want you guys to realize that we have something at hand that we must address it quickly, fast, immediately. Because if we don't take action now, we're going to struggle through in our retirement. We're going to struggle for the years to come. And the time to make a change is today. Make a change. Learn more. Request more information. Reach out to me. I'm here to help you. Right? So with that, I want you guys to tune in again. The next topic we're going to talk about is taxes. Right? Thank you guys for listening. Make sure you guys subscribe to the page. My name is Mr. Finance. And I just want you to know that you're one decision away from changing your future for the better. Thank you for listening. Remember to like and share and subscribe. Have a wonderful day.